Welcome to the 6th hole at Pine Tree. The second par 3 on the front 9, and one of the really challenging par 3s we have. Again, we're facing east, we're heading into the prevailing wind. We've got this green that I guess can best be described as a potato chip upside down, kettle cooked, I don't know, but it's a wild green, and it brings in to, again, some of this counterintuitive nature of the architecture and the strategy here at Pine Tree.
And I think, similar to the first hole in that there's a counterintuitive strategy. If this pin is on the right here, you're actually almost better off what would be short-sided, where you just have a straightforward chip in that segment of the potato chip, so-called potato chip, just up the hill, right? Rather than an up and over shot from either left or long. If you're in the wrong quadrant, chipping becomes really, really challenging on this hole. So being aggressive to these sort of cornered hole locations sometimes is actually a pretty good strategy here, rather than being overly conservative. Of course, we'd like to get our ball on the green, but if we're going to miss, I think missing short-sided, quote unquote, is actually a better strategy on this hole.
Well, we hit our tee shot on 6, long left to a pin that's front right, so we're over to the back left section of the 6th green. Oftentimes, when you pull a ball, it tends to go further and it goes through the wind better, so we've got ourselves in a classic Pine Tree shot, Brian, where you've got to go up and over. So I'm into an upslope and then the green runs away. You can see there's some grain change, and it's a shot that requires making a decision, committing to it, and then executing.
Absolutely. I think one of the most common mistakes I see playing golf out here with folks is this looks like a pretty straightforward shot if the green were dead flat, and they'll fly their ball right to the top of this little up and over. The problem with that strategy is if they hit it 2 feet too far or 2 feet shorter than that, there's a huge discrepancy in where the ball ends up because it's either landing into an upslope or a downslope. So that's the choice to be made, is you need to commit to either landing it well short of the crest into the upslope and maybe using a lower lofted club to run the ball up, or hitting a higher shot that lands beyond that crest. You never want to land intentionally within a couple feet of that top. You want to make a choice one side or the other. So talk me through what you would do here. What do you see, and what are you most comfortable with?
Well, I'm generally most comfortable with Pine Tree with more of a higher lofted club. I don't know that that's the strategy for everybody, but I practice a lot with my 60-degree wedge. If I'm trying to get it up and down, I'm going to go with my higher lofted 60 and try to fly the ball over the crest and get it to stop just beyond the hole, so I have an uphill putt coming back.
It's going to be a pretty high shot that you're trying to hit here if you're going to be landing it on this downslope. And so then committing to that shot, right? Once you make the choice, really committing to hitting that high shot and not sort of waffling halfway in terms of commitment, I think is a really, really key point.
Commit to the shot and pick a spot where you want to land it. You got to read it almost like a putt. I'm going to land it here and it's going to roll out to there.
Let's see it.
So I'll give you my lower lofted club. I've got my 60, I've got a decent lie. We didn't talk about that, but we did on another hole. If I had a poor lie, that would also impact the shot, but I've got a decent lie here that I think I can kind of manage how the ball is going to come out. A couple practice swings to just kind of feel the turf and kind of gauge my swing in terms of how much effort I need to get it to my spot. I'm going to open the face just a hair and try to put this ball up in the air.
Beautiful. Landed just beyond the crest, way up in the air. A lot of commitment. Just beyond the hole, putting back up the hill.
Ran out a little more than I thought, but I do have an uphill putt that I can be fairly aggressive with. I'm confident I can at least 2-putt it, and hopefully more times than not, I'll 1-putt it.
Well done.
Save par.